What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be recapping the issue 5 of the 0 Point comic. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, let me set the scene for you guys. Issue 5 starts off and takes place at the end of chapter 2, right before the collusion event happens. It's actually like right there, right before the collision event, right? So Foundation is trying to get everybody together. You know, Paradigm is ready. She, radios over to the Foundation, is like, hey, we got some issues here. The IO is, more prepared than what we thought they were, and they are ready to start their doomsday, right? And they're like, oh no, this isn't good, but it's all good. We always think on our feet, and we're going to go ahead with the plan. Go ahead, get everyone together. Hopefully they're all ready to go. And sure enough, they are. Spider-Man and Iron Man in the new Hulkbuster. That's all, like the one we have in game, right? The red and gold Hulkbuster armor thing, right? So they go and they take off and they're like, all right, we got this. But Jones, we need you to go back them up along with, Wolverine, the Imagined, and the Order, not to be confused with the Imagined Order, aka the IO. And before they all set off, Jonesy has his little relationship thing with the queen princess of Wakanda, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry I ghosted you back there, but maybe we can try again. Who knows? Anyway, little love affair there. There's quite a few love affairs in this issue. One of them being with Wolverine and the Imagined. And as this is so, the Order starts to come in, and Wolverine's kind of iffy about her because she's this like hardened, warrior, a little intimidating, intimidates even Wolverine himself. But in the end, the Order ends up thanking him for, letting the Imagined be happy because, like she says in the comic, she hasn't seen her sister be happy in over 80 years, which is weird, but not weird since they're, genetically clones of Geno. That's for later in the story. So the scientist is talking to the Foundation, and they're trying to like scout out where exactly they need to attack at. Luckily, they find out that the collider is on top of the tower in the center of the island. So they head everyone in. They make sure that Thor and Storm are ready because they just got done saving the Paradigm on the ice moon and had to use a bunch of energy and a bunch of power to, make the surface of the moon survivable for them. So they head into fight. We all know what happens. The mech gets ready. The mech comes in. We've seen this all live. If you didn't, check it out. It's on the channel somewhere. And of course, as soon as the mech, as we know, goes to destroy the collider, the mech falls into a hole, or, the ground kind of sinks in, and down goes the mech. Paradigm tells the Foundation that, hey, don't worry. It's all good. I'm going to start doing some repairs. You focus on the fight. We have to end this thing, or it's goodbye to all of reality zero. So Iron Man takes the first leap, goes in, goes to attack the collider, and he gets like shocked and thrown back to the ground. And we seen this in the live event, and we didn't think twice about it. We figured it was just, the collider with its power and whatnot. But thanks to the comic, we find out that it's the one and only Geno. That's right. Geno himself was there on the island with us the entire time. Geno says that he tries to help the sisters by setting them free and letting them, make their own decisions. However, the decisions that they made are probably incorrect, and he's not too fond of it since he's sided with the Seven, or since they sided with the Seven. Meanwhile, as this is all going down, Gunther, is that his name? The big brute IO dude. He's going to look for Dr. Doom because Dr. Doom is supposedly brought some of the Doomsday items from the Ice King prison or Ice King palace up on the Ice Moon. That's supposed to be helping with everything going on to ensure their victory, the IO's victory against the Seven. However, Dr. Doom turns against them, and I'm pretty sure he like dips out with all the artifacts. The fight continues between Wolverine, Imagined, the Order, and Geno, where the Imagined tells her sister it's time, you know, let's go ahead and do the thing that we agreed to do. And the Order blasts the rails where they're all hanging on for dear life, and they drop Geno and the Imagined into the 0 point. And as we know from one of the past comics, when you hit the 0 point like Fish Stick did, was it Fish Stick? It was one of them. You incinerate into thousands among millions of pieces and get spread across all of realities. And that's what we can kind of see happen. And right there, we have the the Order and Wolverine have a very touching moment where, you know, the Order explains to Wolverine, you know, this is how it's got to be. You know, the Imagine didn't believe that, you know, she had a life to live. So if it came down to it, and this was the only way to take Geno out, she would be the one to do it because she knew, or she felt like that the Order had a longer life to live than she did. Very touching moment between the two. After this, we see the encounter between Jonesy, Foundation, and Dr. Sloan, which we all know the mech comes down and kind of destroys the tank as far as we know. All live event stuff, but I know y'all want to know more about, you know, Geno. So let's talk about that. Foundation and Jonesy, after getting past Dr. Sloan, they find Geno and the Imagined. They have no idea what just happened, but they know that Geno is right there with the Imagined, and, you know, they didn't want that to be. So in this desperate time, Geno explains, hey, it's already too late. There's nothing left. This is the end. Okay, this is the end. I hope you're happy now, Foundation. You have finally won, and I hope that your way of, you know, using the 0 point ends up making the world a better place like you always said it would. Even though apparently Geno's plan for the 0 point was to protect and perfect every reality in the Omniverse. But he says there is no sense in arguing anymore on who the hero really is. As Geno and the Imagined crumble into millions of pieces, atom by atom, throughout the Omniverse, the battle wraps up, and, you know, it's a sad but happy victory, I guess you can say. Unfortunately, they lost the Imagined, but they won the war and was able to save all of Reality Zero and the rest of the, you know, multiverse. With that being said, we finally figure out why Jonesy was so emotional with the broken frame that we've seen in one of the past comics as well. And that was because that broken frame was actually a picture of his family, which he left to go and work with the IO because he's from a reality where it's nothing but chaos. And, you know, the IO apparently made a deal with him saying, hey, your family will be safe, but we need you to come work for us. And Jonesy ended up taking that deal. He doesn't even know if they're still alive or what's going on, you know, with his family. So very touching stuff that we see from Jonesy and the rest of the crew. But with all that, the battle is over, like I said. So everyone must return back home. As everyone's getting, you know, the 0 point set to their reality and going home, everyone makes peace. Iron Man and, you know, the Foundation have a nice little interaction about being armor buddies or armor bros, shall I say. I like the Foundation and Iron Man's relationship. It's a pretty nice one. But then we see on the final page, Reality 8992 combining with Reality 35. And we see some crystals forming back together, and let alone on the last panel, it is Geno. And the comic ends with not the end. So that's going to wrap up issue 5 of the Zero War comic. Can't wait to see what more comes to this, honestly, with Geno still being alive and everyone around in Reality Zero thinking that he's dead. I'm willing to bet he surprises us somehow, but who knows how. I'll see you guys in the next video, all right? Bye.